Hi friends, so today's video is all about co-creating in Christ. So Christ is the power of God, of source, whatever you want to call the divine, but that is what Christ is. And so today we are going to talk about co-creating in Christ. So this video, I'm going to preference this video is for those of you who are fourth or fifth dimension. Now what that means is you've done a lot of inner healing of your trauma, a lot of dissolving of your ego, and your true self is emerging and you're starting to know what you are as a divine being of light and love. And this is very important to know your oneness in the divine because that lays the foundation for co-creating in Christ, okay? So, what you need to know, first of all, the next layer up, layer 2, is that this is all just a dream. And like Jesus says in the Course in Miracles, it says in the Bible that Adam fell asleep, but nowhere in the Bible does it say Adam woke up. So essentially, we are in Adam's dream. That is very, very important in knowing that you are able to manifest or co-create in Christ, because when you understand life is but a dream, you can easily change it. So the next thing you need to know is this dream is constantly being created as you go. So either the ego, your egotistical program mind, is creating your dream, or your true self is creating the dream. So at all times, at all moments, your dream is being created, subconsciously by the ego or consciously by your true self. Now, when your dream is not going how you want it to go, you have a desire for it to be different than it is, you simply practice an awareness and you say, I am not accepting this script, or I say, F the script. I could create a new script of this dream, like it's a movie. I could create a new script. I don't have to come into agreement with this. And so, how do you do that? Now, this is why it's important that you are a fourth or fifth dimensional being, because you have to go into the knowing zone. And what I mean by that is that you tap into a deep knowing that, oh, with full confidence, this is happening. Not that, this is happening, and you attach a vision with it. So if you are still in third dimension, and I'm not degrading that at all, we all start out in third dimension. So if you're still in third dimension and you haven't done your inner healing and you haven't dissolved the egotistical program mind, and you're still struggling with stress, anxiety, doubts, worries, fears, unforgiveness, bitterness, shame, guilt, regret, all those are layers that have to be undone so that you can move into the knowing zone. If you have not removed those layers, it's going to be really hard to know that something is happening different than what you see, and to know it with confidence and without no doubt or no fear. It's going to be almost impossible for that to happen. I won't say it is impossible, because you are a divine being and you can do this, but it's just really difficult with all those veils. So what does this look like? So an example of this would be this week I was on the freeway, stuck in traffic, not moving, and I had to be somewhere at a certain time. And if I wasn't there, it was going to be really bad. I was trying to get to a relative's house to take them to the hospital for a surgery. and I had to get there on time or their surgery would be canceled. And I was stopped in traffic, and I felt stress, anxiety, doubts, worries, fears just flooding my body and mind. And my ego started creating like a future conversation with my relative and apologizing for being late and them missing their surgery. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing right now? I'm allowing these thoughts, doubts, worries, fears to flood my heart and mind. And to then, the next step was to start creating conversations about me being late. I was like, F this script. I don't have to agree with this. This is a dream. I could create differently. And so I went into the knowing zone, and that means you clear out all thoughts. There's no words, there's no thoughts. And you just tap into this knowing. I tapped into a knowing of, oh, I will be there on time. No doubt. And I even envisioned like my car moving at about 50 miles an hour and me getting there on time. And right after that, traffic moved at 50 miles an hour. And then the divine said to me, why are you settling for 50 miles an hour? And I was like, yeah, why am I settling for 50 miles an hour? So I envisioned, and I just knew my car just flying down the freeway. And we all, right after that, started going 70 to 80 miles an hour. And I was at my relative's house right on time. So that is an example of what I'm talking about. Here's the final lesson to all this, is that when you are knowing for something, this has happened many times, okay? So somebody says to you something they want, they desire in their life to happen. And so you're like, oh, in yourself, you're like, I could create that. So you go into the knowing zone, you create it, and then like that day or the next day, they call you or text you and go, oh my gosh, that's happening. And then you are so excited about that, you tell somebody, oh my gosh, this person wanted this to happen, and I went to the knowing zone and I created this for them. And what it is it's a very subtle way that the ego operates in specialness. Look at me, look what I did for this person. Even though your intent is not that, very subtly it is that, and it will block that thing from happening. Like it will not happen anymore. So you want to keep this very private. This is very secret until maybe after the event has completely been complete. The experience is done for that person or for yourself, and you want to teach someone this, like I'm teaching you about, like driving to my relative's house and what happened. That's done over. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just using it as an example of what the knowing zone is about and how to co-create in Christ. So there you have it. Your homework is to start. You can even make a list. Look at your life or other people's lives. Okay, first look at your life, and you can make a list of all the things you're just kind of settling for. And you're just like, if it happens, it happens. In God's timing. You're hoping, but you don't know. And stop. Make a list of all those things that you really would like to be different, and it's not, and you're just kind of waiting to see, and you're hoping. That's the thing that you want to change. You want to co-create in Christ. And pay attention to when people are talking about, oh, I hope this thing happens, or I want this thing to happen, or I'm praying this thing happens in God's timing, whatever. And you just make a mental note, or I even write it down what they say to me. And then I go into the knowing zone and I co-create for them. And then I love for them to hear, this is awesome. The universe gave me this, or God blessed me with this, or Jesus is looking out for me. And that is awesome. They can take all the credit. The divine can have all the credit. It's not about us anyways. So there's your homework. Change those things that you want to be different, because you have the power to do it. You are a divine being. You are a supernatural being. Jesus said you'll do greater things than he did. This is what he's talking about. So I bless you on your journey of co-creating in Christ. See you guys later.